is to know that you're going to die. And that's a terrifying thing for us. That can be a terrifying thing for us. But you know what? That's also the very thing that makes life beautiful. The fact that it's going to end. It's the limitations that give things meaning, dude. If you're going to live another 1,000,000 years, how much does today matter? Not at all. But as soon as you recognize and you go, this is going to end someday, then now all of a sudden the problem in life is not that there's nothing to do. The problem in life is that there's too much to do. And you have to prioritize. And you have to figure out what's worth investing your time in. Dude, you are an incredible creature, man. You are an incredible, incredible creature. And when you understand that about yourself and you accept that about yourself, nothing but the best is going to do for you. Think about the person who you love the most and you think the highest of. You're probably better than even that because you're probably greater than you can possibly imagine. And I mean that genuinely. In one of these rare moments of kindness, I mean that absolutely genuinely. And yet think about how we degrade ourselves by spending time and spending ourselves on things that aren't worthy of us. You know? And once you recognize how incredibly, look at the universe. Okay, how precious is gold? There's way more gold on this planet than there is you in the universe. And yet we hold up like diamonds and gold and we say these things are so precious. Dude, you are so much more precious than the diamonds and the gold that we waste our lives pursuing. Waste it if it's not what you actually want, I mean. And yet we treat ourselves so much worse than the gold that we polish and the diamonds that we set in rings. And once you realize how incredibly precious and valuable you are, hopefully you're going to realize that therefore your time should be best invested in that because it matters, it's useful for you. And once you realize that, it's like, but that's all going to end someday. Yeah, the most precious thing in the universe is going to end someday. So maybe invest it in the best of all possible ways. What is that? I don't know. That's up to you to figure out for yourself. Because that's also one of the things that makes you so incredibly precious and valuable is that your meaning and your purpose is unique to you. I don't mean that in some hippy-dippy way of, well, we really have our own plans. No, I mean that in a real, genuine way. That it's specific to you and specific for you to find. And then once you do find it, the problem is going to be that now you're constrained by that time. But that's, again, what makes it so valuable. And what makes Monopoly so much fun to play is the limitations. You have to play within a certain set of rules. You can't just grab all the money out of the bank. You can't just set up hotels everywhere at the very beginning. You have to play within the limitations. That's what makes it so valuable. What makes your life so valuable is the limitations. You've only got so much time. So you have to figure out how best to spend that time. I mean, for myself, how best to spend the time inevitably becomes the question. And that strikes me as a thing that's just unspeakably sad in a life that's as short as ours. And so you have to figure it out. You know, is what you're doing right now, is it worthy of your time? Is it worthy of your life? And I'm going to bet that most of you don't believe a word I'm saying. You don't believe how precious and valuable you are. Maybe no one's ever told you. Maybe you say it, but you don't believe it. Maybe you've never really genuinely thought about that. The universe is big, man, and there's one of you. Think about how cool it would be to go to a different planet. There's way more planets than there are us. There's way more planets in our galaxy than there are us. There are way more planets that exist right now than humans who have ever existed in the history of the world. And yet we look at those common things, and they are beautiful, this is true. But you are so much more beautiful and precious than those planets that are out there, and unique and different. And so treat yourself that way. And that means to make the most of your life. How do you make the most of it? I don't know. I can give you some hints, but that's up to you to figure out. Get about the business of that. Because it is going to end. It is going to end one day. But I'm going to stop there. Because if I don't,
we'll be here.
We're here till Thursday. Mm-hmm. This is the 4th time I'm stopping. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques.